Hello, and welcome to My Five. This is DWTT, otherwise known as Gary, and we're going to talk about, like I said, as a title, My Five. We'll talk about the game Arsenal nil, Brentford 2. All right, so here we go. Hello. Hi, this is DWTT's My Five. I'm Gary, and here we go. So we're talking about My Five in the Brentford match, Arsenal nil, Brentford 2. As you can see, My Five is listed right above my head. I will go into them in detail, talk about the game. But before you start, just remember to, subscribe, like, and comment actually on this video. Let me know what you think about My Five and kind of what I saw, and we'll go through that. So, talk a little bit about the game real quick. First game of the season against a team that just came up from the championship. It should be a team that has a determination to show that they deserve to be here. Arsenal should be a team that needs to show that they definitely deserve to be here, deserve to be considered one of the top teams in the league. Top half of the league definitely, but top six is where they would like to be, I believe. So tough game. We knew it was going to be a tough game. They were going to come in a lot of energy. It's their first home match as a Premier League team. Not a top flight team, but definitely as a Premier League team. They haven't been in this situation for 70 plus years. It's going to be a big game. Not only that, but Arsenal is missing, 4 potential starters from their team. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Gabriel, Saka all weren't ready, and Partey weren't playing. So basically, like five of players that we could consider starters on this team at some point throughout the season were missing. But still, I think we have the talent to be able to compete with them still. Even if we go young, we still have a lot of positives that we can utilize there. So we'll see. So we saw the game. So we'll talk about the 5, and then we'll go from there. So first up and we shall see, is Florian Balogun. Now, that's who I chose to go with first. He was going to be replacing either Lacazette or Aubameyang up top. It's going to be a tough game for him, being his first game of the season. A lot of pressure on him. But I expected to see something from him, and I believe I did, and I believe I wanted to see more. So that's a good thing for me, anyways. When I look at it, in the beginning, in the game, as the game went on, you could see him making runs. Sometimes the passes were made; they just weren't on target. Other times, the passes just weren't made, which is kind of what we've seen before. Is that a lot of times the players are just not looking for that run, and they should be. He's making them. He had opportunities to score. Well, probably not. Let's not say that. But he did. He did get in the box, and he did make some. Was able to put his head on the ball. Just nothing positive came out of that. In the box one time, he'd get clipped, I believe, or get hit high, came down. I would have liked him to sell that a little bit more. It looked like he just fell down, and the referee's like, "Oh, nothing much happened there." But I kind of felt like he was looking to shoot at that particular point in time, and probably could have, drawn at least some kind of consideration from the referee at that point. Nothing happened, but he'll live and learn from that one. He made there was a nice pass made out to him, and he's able to try to back heel it. Defender was there to cover it, and that was kind of partly what we saw a lot of. It's just that we just did not have much space in their box. Our attacks just were so slow that by the time we got there, they were already set up for everything that we had. A couple of times we did break 3, but most of the time they were just there, and he just was crowded out and was. It seemed initially that he just wasn't there and wasn't being part of the play, but if you go back and look at the game again, you'll see that he definitely had his opportunities and put himself in situations where the passes were right, the ball fell to him a little bit better. Maybe he would have been able to do more with it. Um, he took a long shot, which I think maybe was out of frustration a little bit, just not getting much going there. The ball sailed away well over the bar. Um, it's interesting to find, I remember listening to this that Brentford actually put a bid in for him, so they must have sourced something in him. So we definitely have a good player there. Is he ready to be starting the first game of this match or this season? I don't think so. I don't think that was the plan, but he's in there, so he's going to have to do what do his best. I think he did. I think he just needs more time. Needs more time, and as one of my friends, one of my YouTube friends always says, players need more time, and he definitely does. Kind of was thrusted in there because of players being unwell, whatever that means, and we'll see. He did get knocked off the ball, which I think he's gonna learn from on a long pass. Jacques actually made a long pass to him that looked really good, but the defender was able to kind of kind of just knock him off his path and away from the ball. But otherwise, not really say a quiet day for him, but just I think this is probably to be expected. The team needed to put the ball needed to put him in situations that made it a lot easier for him to have a really good game. They were not able to do that, and it didn't look like it just didn't look like it was going to work out for him. Yeah, that was it for Balogun. I kind of felt like he was it wasn't all on him, but he needed a lot of help and didn't get as much as he probably needed to make his presence felt. Though we got a lot of crosses and he was able to get his head on some balls, just never in a good position. They basically crowded us out every time you saw. I mean, they defended pretty well. I think we gave them too much time, and that's why it looked like that. It looked like they defended well, and we just didn't. But otherwise, I think Balogun played all right. So next up is Pepe. Expecting big things from him. Hoping for big things from him this season. And we just didn't see it. Let's see. Trying to. All right, so here we go. Sorry, just kind of got a little. This is my first go around here for the season, so I'm a little rusty. So bear with me. But next up, like I said, is Pepe. We're expecting some big things from him this season, helping the way that he ended the season, hoping that he would continue with that. I think, like most of the team, he took a little bit of time for him to get acclimated or get used to playing football again, I guess. He's kind of doing a lot of the same things. I think, partly he needed to have learned from what he saw last season is that when he does get the ball out there, he's got to make some, swift decisions. A lot of times it seems like he saw what was coming at him and still did not change it up any much. So if he had two defenders in front of him, kind of still wanted to just dribble through them, and they were having that left back, I believe, on that side of the field just was having a really good game. Nothing really got by him, and Pepe tried again, and eventually he needed to either pull that ball back, or in what I think should have happened sometimes, he should have attacked as soon as he got that ball, and a lot of times he seemed to be hesitant to go right at them. By the time he takes a little step over, guess what? They are dug in and they're not moving much, and he just tries to go through them. It never seems to work for him when he does that. I kind of feel like if he has them on their back heel, he will be at the advantage. He seems to kind of let them get set up, and then he tries to attack, and by then it's too late. You watch the game, you listen to the commentary, and you just don't hear his name as much, and I wanted to hear a lot more of it. He did make some, he did take some shots, none that ended up, making the goalkeeper have to make any saves. So not much from him in that sense. Probably once again, probably getting acclimated to the new teammates that he was playing with up top, especially with Balogun up there. But still, I kind of felt like he didn't. That shouldn't have been an issue for him. I think he still should have been able to maybe put some pressure on the goalkeeper, and he did not put as much as I thought. Um, so we'll see if this is just first game jitters, and he'll just rub it off, learn from it, and grow from it, and get better in the next match because we're going to need him. We're going to need him to be need him to be where he was last season, and actually need to see more from him. There was a couple of times where I believe he just did not see Chambers coming off the right edge there, and a lot of times he was looking inside and never really looked outside, and I kind of felt like at some point you needed to spread that defense out. They kind of were congested there, and when you've got your right back out there trying to make a run, probably needed to make that pass and maybe open things up for him so that later when it happens, maybe they're thinking, when they see Chambers coming, that they're going to have to defend both players and not just have two on Pepe, which is kind of what they did most of the time. Chambers did come up, but then, nothing. We didn't go to him enough, I think, to open things up for Pepe, because some of the times Pepe just was not looking out that on the outside there. It was there, but that wasn't really his first thought, I believe. Usually to go inside, and I think that that hurt his chances in terms of getting an attack. Let's see. Later on, I think in the game, I think maybe in the first half, Milsuf Rowe did make a pass up to Martinelli, which got back to Pepe, took a shot, but I kind of felt like by then it was just so congested in there. They were able to block it easy, and that's kind of what we saw from this game. They defended pretty well. Arsenal did not as much. So let's see what we have next. So next up we've got Martinelli. We'll talk about him and we'll go from there. All right. So Martinelli. Let's see. So Martinelli, what do we have here? I was happy to see him in the lineup. It was just after he got back from the Olympics. He didn't play much, so I can understand why he was able to play. He should have been rested and ready to go. I don't actually think he started any matches. He did come in and play multiple games, but as far as being tired from playing, probably not. But just not having that mental rest that maybe he needed, he didn't get that. He came straight from the Olympics to the team, which I think was a good sign. In the game, it was good to have him out there. Didn't see much from him, and I don't know if that's just part of the game plan. I don't know. That's just kind of what I felt I saw when I looked out there. It wasn't a negative. I just think sometimes people kind of disappeared. He did put himself out there for Kieran Tierney. They did kind of have some 1-2 or some back and forth with the ball. But not as much as I would have liked in terms of the attack. For the amount of possession that we had in this game, would have liked to have seen some more from our attack, and I would have liked to have seen some more from Martinelli in that respect. Did not see much. There's not much I can say about what I saw from him. I guess I wanted to see a little bit more, but I think the game was just so congested that he just did not have enough space to make maneuvers in there. Tierney on the outside did get some space. That's the one thing you'll notice is that on our left side, we always seem to have a lot of space for Tierney to make that run. On the right side, not so much. Maybe that's just because you got Pepe out there and he loves to take some space, but I kind of felt like we need to see the same on both sides, I think, for it to be equal. So then the other teams have to think about it. Did I like Martinelli out there on the left? Probably not as much as I thought I would. And later on in the game, Saka comes in and I believe takes up that position over there, and things just seem to work a little bit better. Martinelli probably either needs time or he is going to be that center forward going forward that we're going to see. The game wasn't as open for him in a sense that did not see him have that many runs at goal like I've seen in the past when he's come in late in games, and maybe that's just that's just indicative of how the game goes. But did not see enough of that. Would have liked to have seen more. Um, Personally, when I look at the game and I think back to it, I think, man, I would like to see the starting lineup go again. Maybe Saka goes in there. Maybe that bumps somebody out, but I kind of like the lineup in general. I think it's going to take time for them to gel. So, do we have time for that? Probably not. But it was nice to see, and maybe that is the team that we were playing the cup. The lineup that we're playing in the cup game somewhat. At least the youngsters like Balogun and Martinelli, and so they've got some minutes under their belts, so that's a plus there. They needed some help from other players as well, and I don't. As a whole, the team just didn't seem like they had been playing together, and that might be true. I don't think they were expecting to have to put that lineup in if they were looking at this first match. This is probably not what Arteta was expecting, but he should be, right? He should be thinking that, at some point I'm going to have to play some players that, probably weren't expecting to have to play. And that shouldn't be a surprise to them. They should be ready to go. So that's it from Martinelli. As you can probably tell, I don't have much. I mean, it's probably more than others have seen. Let me know. But I would have liked to see, I didn't think he needed more. I needed more from him, but I don't know if that's just this kind of game, and we'll see how it goes forward. All right, so next up is Zombie or Albert Lokonga, or I call him Zombie. He wants to be called Zombie. I'll call him Zombie. All right. After the game was over, and I heard some people talking about him, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I just didn't notice him as much as I thought I would. And wanted to, like I wanted him to, we wanted it to feel like we had Partey out there when he came in. It's probably asking too much of him right now, but when I went back and took another look at the match, he was such a calming influence in that game. The ball goes into him. I believe the game just, at least around him, slowed down, and never really put a foot wrong that I saw. Moving forward, moving backwards when he had to. And I think, I would like him to move the ball forward and maybe take a chance, but he's just not comfortable to do that yet. So you've seen Partey with players right on his back still take the ball forward. He's not there yet. He does take the ball forward when he is presented with an opportunity, but sometimes you're going to have to force it, I think, and that's maybe not something he's ready to do just yet. And maybe after more time with Partey, he'll realize that, that's what we're going to need to do. So, like I said, I didn't feel like I saw much of him, but you go back and take a look at he had a really good game. Didn't really have too many. It was not. I don't think there's too many negative plays that I could see him that kind of stand out. Much less I wanted to see a lot more. Those top plays as well. So didn't see that either. But I think that's just going to come with time. Sometimes I think we're rushing. We rush our players and. When we put them in situations, we have to expect that they are not going to be where they will be in the future, because they still have, some of them still have years to go until we get to where we want them to be, and that's okay. And that's one of the things with this team is that we're really young, a young core, too young, in fact, that we depend on. And we're expecting them to be, a seasoned veteran playing out there who's been playing for multiple years, and they're just not there yet, especially in the Premier League. It was nice to see him out there. I'm looking forward to hopefully when Partey comes in, or maybe Arsenal will pick up a partner for Partey, and things will look different when Zombie's playing out there, because we'll get a similar playing style to Partey, but on the opposite side, and could partner with Zombie when Partey's out or needs to rest or whatever the case may be. So we'll see what that happens with the transfer market. But it was good to see him out there. Him and Xhaka, they looked okay together, but it just didn't give us that much. I guess movement forward, or box to box, as many have said, that we wanted out of that position. but I think that will come with time. So next up, what do we have? Next up, we're going to talk about Ben White. Ben White. So here we go. All right. So Ben White. Let's see. What can I say? My initial thoughts on him when he first came into the, when I first started looking at the game and thinking about what I wanted to see from him. Expecting to see a lot of passes from him, because that's kind of what his highlights are. That he's good with the long passes and seeing the runs. Defensive wise, he was going to be that's not his strong point, I believe, and that is kind of at least a concern for me, is that his defense isn't where I think we want it to be. Right, it still needs to be worked on, and I think the combo between him and White, you could see that together. It's just not as strong as what we would like in our pairing back there. I don't think in general they were the big reasons why that the game went the way it did, but I think they needed to probably be perfect in this match to help us get through, and they just weren't. Ben did make some really nice passes forward, and that's we'll probably hopefully see a lot more of that going forward when players get used to it, that he will make they will make those runs, he will make that pass. So that was good to see, and that's kind of what we're going to need more of that, and hopefully we'll see more of that. His first game in with an Arsenal shirt, was the crest a little heavy for him? I don't know. It looked like he was still trying to figure things out there. He might, some might say he had an okay game. He had a good game. I kind of felt like he can do. I believe he can do better than what I saw out there. That's going to come with time, and we'll see. He came in, towards the end of the preseason, which another reason why I kind of feel like we need to have our players in sooner so they can get ready to play the way that Arteta wants them to play. When they come in late, they're figuring things out and learning the players that they're playing with, what they're where they're going to need his help, where he's going to need their help. Those types of things are going to come in the more that he plays. So he started. He looked okay. I would like, I think he could do better. He probably would say I could do better than what I did. Yeah, probably wasn't, like I said, first game of the season. So there you go. It's what's telling about that is kind of when I looked to the other side, looked at Brentford. They looked like a team, of course, that had been playing together for a while, and I kind of always feel like that when I watch Arsenal. It's like, do we actually practice enough, or practice game situations where they come in and nothing that they are seeing is new, or they are able to enforce what they want in the game. And sometimes I feel like we cater to what the other teams want, and thus are never actually at our strongest and never actually at our strengths. But as for White, he did okay. I kind of felt like he was still kind of feeling his way around this game, and I expect to see more and better from him going forward. I think that's going to be it for my first go around. Went a little bit longer than I expected. Hope you enjoy the content. If you have any comments on anything I've said or any of the players that I talked about, please let me know. I'll try to respond. I will respond to you. Let you know what I feel. But those are the 5 that I looked at. Probably didn't look at any of the season players as much as you probably thought I would, but I kind of wanted to see how they would do, since it was, we may not see a lineup like this going forward as players get healthy, and expect to see Saka back in the starting lineup going forward. So that would mean that, somebody's going to have to sit, be it Martinelli most likely. Who knows who's going to go up top now? Looks like we're going to have Aubameyang and Lacazette still out for the Chelsea match. So is that Balogun again, or are they going to move Pepe up top and go that route? We'll see. But in general, I think this is going to be a tough 3 games we have going on, especially with the injuries that we have. The players hopefully have learned a lot from this first match. This is the Premier League for those youngsters coming in for the first time, for those players playing with Arsenal. This is kind of what we've had the way things have gone for us. So going forward, hopefully, they've learned from it, and we can see some improvements. I always say, from game to game, I expect little improvements, and I'm hoping to see the same here again. So, as I, hope you enjoyed what hope you enjoyed what I am my 5, and there we go. Game number 2 coming up, and I guess it will be it's going to be 7 days from now when this recording is being made against Chelsea. We've had some time to think about it. Hopefully, the team does better coming out for the second match, and they are able to correct the ills of the last match. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. And as I like to say, life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Enjoy the ride. All right, thanks. And I will talk to you next time.